is a video of firework explodes during New Year celebration that hit one of the floors of the tall building. So what can we do before, during and after the incident occurs? So let's find out more.
The fire drill was carried out and commenced at 10 a.m. Saturday 30th of October 2021 to ensure this practice went smoothly without any inevitable disturbances, such as students attending to a lab for practical lessons, as there were not many occupants in the faculty building during the weekend. The EOH3206 course coordinator, Dr. Karmegam, and the representative of Serdang Bomber were present to monitor and supervise the flow of the fire drill. It involved Block C and Block D of FPSK, Universiti Putra Malaysia UPM, as well as included several agencies.
A very good day to our lecturer, Associate Professor Dr. Karmegam Farupia. We are from Group C to present about our event, which is fire drill. In this presentation, we have 4 agenda, which is introduction fire drill, before fire drill, during fire drill, and lastly after a fire drill. So let's start with introduction about fire drill. What is fire drill actually? So fire drill is a simulator for evacuating a building as well as rescuing possible victims in the event of fire or other emergency situation. In most circumstances, the exiting fire alarm system in a building is activated and the building is evacuated as if an emergency had happened. This fire drill will held on 30th of October 2021, Saturday at 10 a.m. at Block C and D of FPSK Universiti Putra Malaysia UPM. Fire and Rescue Department Malaysia Bomber Serdang, Pusat Kesihatan UPM PKU UPM, and also all involved second year students are agencies that involved in our fire drill. We have several objectives that connected with the fire drill. First, allow involved year 2 students experience the needed responsibility as well as practice and implement emergency and escape procedure in actual fire event. Second is implement the ICS, which is Incident Command System model that will be utilized in the practice. Third, ensure all involved agencies fulfill their responsibility in compliance with the procedure in a timely and efficient manner. Fourth is enhance awareness of the importance of calm and discipline in action in an emergency. This fire drill successfully done by Emergency Response Team (ERT) as a part of the Emergency Response Plan (ERP) and IAP is which is Incident Action Plan. We have also proposed scenario which is an explosion of a burner in an occupational health laboratory on the 4th floor due to its proximity to a high temperature area. So we move to other section, which is organization chart in fire drill. First, Emergency Response Team or ERT is the group of people who prepare for and respond to any emergency incident. The goal of an ERT is to restore or maintain operation and minimize losses during an emergency incident. The main job of the Incident Commander, which is IC, is based on the Incident Commander system. The task of a Incident Commander is to divide each class member into different units. The total number of manpower in command staff are 4 people, including Incident Commander. For this fire drill, the Incident Commander is Mukris Aiman bin Hamdan Murshidi. As for the Safety Officer, Nur Syazwan binti Kamaruzaman. The Public Information Officer is Muhammad bin Azman, and the License Officer role is held by Siti Nadia binti Maslan. The Incident Commander divide the student into specified general staff unit, which involve Operation Unit led by Onziyi, Finance Unit led by Wan Afif Amshal, Planning Unit led by Natasha Belinda, and Logistic Unit led by Aina Humaira binti Kamal Bahrain. Next, the Incident Commander's job to make sure all this unit he has assigned to their role before and during the fire drill. The Incident Commander needs to determine a safe and logical approach to respond to the fire incident. He needs to make sure that everything goes perfectly according to the plan and without casualties. Incident Commander needs to make sure that all unit report directly to him and keep himself updated all the time. So next, move to the planning unit. Planning unit, we have Natasha Belinda as a planning chief. Then Deputy Chief position we have Umi Rashidah binti Mahmud, and other unit like Resources unit led by Nur Alia Danisha, Situation unit led by Amanina Izati, Documentation and Demobilization unit by Nur Wazna, and Technical Specialist led by Ivy Yong. This unit prepares incident action plan to meet incident objective, collect and evaluates information, and maintains both resource status and incident documentation. Next, operation unit develops tactical objective, conduct tactical operation to carry out the plan, and directs all tactical resources. This unit led by Onzi as an operation chief, and this unit is also assisted by medic leader by Wong Wei-Wing, traffic leader by Amir Hadif, and runner leader by Lukarman. By logistic unit, we have Aina Umaira as a logistic chief and assisted by Hani Khalis as deputy logistic chief. Other positions such as supply unit by Jai, facilities unit by Muhammad Yasir Iman, medical unit by Weven, communication unit by Lukarman, and food unit by me, Nurdanisha Alia, and ground support unit by Ivy Yong. Lastly, for the organization chart, we have finance unit. Finance and administration unit will monitor costs, provide accounting, procurement, time recording, and cost analysis. In this unit, finance and administration chief led by Wan Afif Musha, cost unit led by Muhammad Shamil, procurement unit led by Khairul Nisa, compensation unit led by Nur Aisha Najiha, and time unit led by Hanis Shafia. Next, I will pass to the next presenter to explain more about before fire drill. Thank you.
Thank you, Rasha. Now I will present to you about before fire drill. So before fire drill, there were 4 major units involved, which is planning unit, operation unit, logistics units, and also finance and administration units. To begin, next slide please. For the planning unit, an organized team according to the Incident Command System (ICS) to be prepared for the fire drill operation was put. A complete strategic plan under monitoring of the IC Incident Commander was provided. The availability of all resources needed during the fire drill operation was identified and ensured. The organization, company, and department involved, such as Bomber Department and Pusat Kesihatan UPM (PKU), were contacted to acknowledge them with the fire drill operation as well as advised to be prepared with the upcoming fire drill operation. The supply from the monitoring company and operation centers was ensured with the estimated timeline in conducting the fire drill. All incident-relevant operational data were collected and managed. Next slide, please. So for the operation unit, so there were 3 sub-units, which are medical unit, runner unit, and also traffic unit. For the medical unit, they received orders from the OC operation chief, which was Cindy, and IC, the commander, which was Mukris. They distributed the logistics material such as first aid kit, stretcher, and other medical tools to the team. They provided briefing instruction to the team about their role. They studied the simple triage and also the treatment beforehand, and they had full understanding and mastered both of them. For the runner unit, next slide please. The runner leader, Lou Carmen, has chosen and arranged the runners for each floor, starting from 1st floor until 7th floor, as 2 people were assigned for each floor. Before the event started, all the runners were given safety vests to wear during the fire drill. They were given a briefing on their position and responsibilities during the fire drill. Besides, they were asked to familiarize the emergency route and report in the building. For the traffic unit, next slide please. So there were 2 members in the traffic team, which were Amir Hadif as the leader and Engkau Putri as the assistant. Traffic team was in charge of getting approval by writing a formal letter to the Dean Department of Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences (FPSK). They were also in charge of informing the FPSK security guard about the real date of the fire drill. They notified and give an explanation on the flow of the fire drill to ensure that the gate will be open throughout the operation and to improve traffic flow. They also informed which buildings will be affected to ensure that no property will be lost or damaged during the evacuation. Finally, the team made sure there were no obstacles on the route from the main gate to the fire drill building. This was necessary to make sure that the fire drill is completed on the schedule within 7 minutes, as the fire drill will be considered a failure. Next slide please. For the logistics unit, firstly, the logistics unit will get a list from the planning unit about all equipment needed. Then The logistic chief will assign the duties to each leader that includes the communication, medical unit, food unit, supply unit, ground support unit, and also facilities unit leader. The members of each unit reported the estimated price of all the equipment needed to their respective leaders after 1 week of research and started to carry out their duties and tasks according to which is divided by the logistic chief once they have received the fundings. The chief of logistic unit inspected the area and made sure that the count of equipment and resources was according to the list and in good condition. And for the finance and administration unit, next slide please. They attended the fire drill meeting and take down all of the waste before the fire drill. And they needed to understand incident condition thoroughly from financial standpoint to guarantee the fire drill activity process effectively. They worked with the logistics section to determine the budget needed to purchase tools and equipment for the fire drill. And also they managed the fire drill fund by collecting money from all students. For the during fire drill, I'll pass the presentation next to the Dasi. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, for explaining about what happened before the fire drill. Now I'm going to continue and explain for every unit involved during the fire drill. So firstly, the medical unit, which is led by Raven. The team will use the equipment carrying out treatment with the teaching and demonstration from Dr. Vivian Howe. They led the medical unit team members in studying the building structure and practicing for the fire drill situation beforehand. They also identified the triage category and informed the members of medical unit B about the category. Next, they will also carry out their treatment and aid after receiving information about the triage category from members of medical unit A. Lastly, they will coordinate among unit members and leaders regarding the availability of medical equipment. For the traffic unit, the traffic team will be positioned at the main gate and use walkie-talkie to communicate with the traffic team among the traffic team members, incident commander IC, and liaison officer over a long distance. All agencies, including fire and rescue team, University Health Center TU, and emergency response team, need to keep the traffic team updated. Traffic team assisted the agencies from the main gate to the building that was on fire. For the running unit, the operations shift revised the safety and emergency response plan, which is SINDI, and verified the requested resources from logistics section, which is needed during the emergency. Every runner stood by their own position and was prepared to receive guidelines from the operational shift through the runner leader. The runners began to assist all the occupants to evacuate the building when the fire alarm system was activated. Every part of each floor must be checked by the runners, including the toilets and stairs, to ensure there are no occupants remaining in the building. Lastly, runners inform their floor warden by raising the flag depending on the situation. For example, white flag indicates clear and the red flag indicates not clear, which will notify the running units. For the logistic unit, the logistic shift was responsible to ensure all the equipment and resources were delivered to the correct person in charge from the operations section. The facilities unit of the logistics section were responsible to set up the canopy as the incident command post ICP. The ICP was equipped with chairs, whiteboard, stationaries, and hailers for effective communication, planning, and recording purposes during the fire drill. Logistics section also distribute equipment such as walkie-talkie, vests, and flags to the respective ICS staff. Warning cones and warning tips in specific areas were placed to prevent any vehicles or passerby to enter the fire drill area, as it will be conducted in the area. Lastly, logistics shift and leaders of each unit will stand by at the ICP for immediate response and assistance to the rescue team, and to ensure that the rescue team can easily obtain the tools and equipment needed. For the finance unit, during the fire drill on December 5th, 2021, all members of the finance and administration section help and support the operations section in terms of management, control and monitor any injuries or property damage that occurred during the fire drill. And lastly, they also are involved actively in the fire drill as a runner, medical team, timekeeper, and traffic keeper. Next will be presented by Ame for the after fire drill.
Okay, thank you, Yasir, for explaining about during the fire drill. Now I will explain about after the fire drill. Okay, the first unit is runners unit. So all the items that had been used by the runners before and during the emergencies were given back to the logistics section. All members were assembled at the command post to do the post-mortem in order to know what mistake had been done and what improvement could be made during the next emergencies. The second unit is the medical unit. So a short postmortem with all the emergency response team was done after the fire drill ended to discuss and identify several problems that had been encountered during the event and come out with the solutions to handle it. And also the postmortem was conducted and was cleaned up. The equipment also needed to be checked again just to make sure that it is still in a good condition. The third unit is traffic unit. Next slide. So the traffic team assists the fire and rescue team, University Health Center, EKU, and emergency response team in returning to the main gate so that they could continue their work. And also they need to notify the security guard that the fire drill had concluded and thank them for their assistance. And the next unit is logistic unit. So the postmortem session will be conducted after the fire drill by Dr. Kamigam, and all the members of the ICS and Encik Nur Azam, which is the firefighter from the Sri Sedang Fire Department. After that, Encik Nur Azam demonstrated a firefighting session, explain the difference in each type of fire extinguisher and the proper usage of each fire extinguisher in different types of fire accidents respectively to all of us. Encik Nur Azam also shared with us about how to use the fire extinguisher using a formula of PASS, which means that P for pull the safety pin from the handle, A which is aim the nozzle towards the fire, and lastly squeeze the handle to let out the extinguishing agent as they put out the fire. All the members of the logistics section checked and made account for all the equipment and resources to ensure all the equipment were in the same number as before and not damaged after the demonstration session. All the equipments and resources then returned after it was double checked by the leaders of each unit and the logistics chief. Other members who were not involved in returning the equipment and resources were assigned to make sure the fire drill site was clean and free from rubbish and waste. Lastly is finance and administration section. So they were responsible to analyze and determine the expenses associated with the event's environmental and property damage, and also they are responsible to prepare a comprehensive financial and expense report. And lastly is to ascertain that all students have contributed to the fire drill fund. So in conclusion, our fire drill station have made and achieved their main objective, and there is also improvement that we need to take a look. Okay, the first improvement is to conducting fire drills during weekday when most of the students are there and enable the objective and optimum outcomes of the fire drill are achieved. The second improvement is to have the regular examination and maintenance of the equipment to avoid the unnecessary problems occurring during the fire drill process. The third one is the backup plan is essential to be drafted, and the last improvement that we need to take a look is to manpower of the runner unit as well as the medical unit should also be increased. So I think that's all from me. Next. Thank you.